Hey guys, we've got a little narrative to discuss today, so let's get straight into it. Today I'll be going over some of my main predictions and character appearances in Fionna and Cake Season 2 and how they will fit into the story. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so the first prediction is Fionna and our Finn, our prime Finn, meet. Fionna at some point runs into the Finn we all know and love. Imagine this, Fionna for some reason finds her way into U, which happened very briefly last season. I imagine she'll have a longer visit this time around. She goes to the Candy Kingdom, sits down at the Candy Tavern, tired, wanting a drink, and sits next to Finn, who finds himself there as well, a regular spot for our boy. For some reason I can see them sitting down and talking to each other, just sitting next to each other, having not a clue of each other's significance. I can't see an actual interaction significant to the plot, as I feel it'll just be on the side of fan service instead of new stories, but this is something we have to see.
You know, Simon, I used to bust your balls about those old stories, but...
Next is we see Huntress Wizard and Finn together. Now this is more wishful thinking on my part. It isn't confirmed that Finn and Huntress Wizard are together, but it's been implied, and at the least they're definitely associated, with Finn going to see her in the episode he was in with Simon.
Looks like here is where we part. I'm gonna stop off and see Huntress Wizard.
This is a pretty bold prediction, as for us to see them together, they would likely have to be in public together, as there probably wouldn't be a scene dedicated to them on their own, as they're not main characters of the series, unless they decide to make Finn have his own plot point in Season 2.
Hello.
The next prediction and idea I see being explored is Prismo's boss and the cosmic hierarchy. This has always been an important part of Adventure Time, especially in the later seasons, and obviously a main plot point in Season 1 of Fionna and Cake. It was looked at a lot more in Fionna and Cake than it was in the original series, but Prismo's boss and the cosmic hierarchy was a major plot point in Season 1, and will likely be in Season 2, as it's how Fionna and Cake travel to the different universes. There are theories that Prismo's boss is the cosmic imagination, or just the universe. I think they're implying that they're more of a conscious single being, as in Season 1, the boss is seen talking to Orbo directly on the phone, as if, it has a voice and it is its own entity. I can't see them making this a main plot point by any means, it's just too big and too unnecessary. Once you make Prismo's boss like a character, what do you do after that? Because it's like just introducing God. So yeah, I definitely see some more hints towards it though.
Awesome.
That sounds cool.
Next I got the Lich being mentioned or included again. Obviously we know that the Lich has already made an appearance in Jerry, but he's too significant of a villain to not be included at all. I see at the very least, a mention of the Lich, if not another appearance entirely. There's a lot of loose ends to the Lich still, even though in major spoilers with Distant Lands here, in Together Again, that Finn and Jake versus the Lich thing was kind of tied up. But we know the Lich's hand was transported to all realities in Crossover. We haven't seen what happened to many of these versions, including Fionna and Cake's Lich hand, which we have not seen anything of. We know that once Simon was cured of the crown, Fionna's world was turned into a normal, boring world. Boring as in not magical. And so something may have possibly happened to it. I'm not sure how or what could happen, considering it is a giant hand that is the Lich. But who knows? It's too big of a disturbance to ignore though. This is my favourite one here. Marshall Lee becomes a vampire in Season 2. There's a lot of questions on who will be the new antagonist in the next season. They set a pretty high standard with Scarab, a cosmic entity capable of destroying universes, so I assume a very powerful being will also be the villain of Season 2. Considering how loved the vampire world was in The Star, probably the best episode of Fionna and Cake, I see them making it somewhat relevant here in Season 2, as it was definitely a fan favourite. We learned that the vampires in that world have fed themselves so much and for so long that they're running out of options for food. I can see them moving to jump dimensions for a new feeding ground, as I saw, dimension hopping is possible, at least the Vampire King did. That would mean the Vampire King is a candidate for the main antagonist of the season, along with the star, which is Marceline. So as long as I get more Marceline, I am not complaining. This ties into Marshall Lee, obviously, as we know, he's a gender-bent version of Marceline. He's also a fan favourite, and his arc would very likely be relevant if this scenario was to take place. When it comes to Marshall turning to a vampire, I see it along the lines of him being vital to stopping the Vampire King, as he's obviously the most relevant, being Marceline's counterpart. Getting bitten and turning himself while saving everyone and moving Fiona World into a more mirrored era of Ooh, just a bit more similar, kind of contrasting it, with the characters becoming more like their counterparts. Also, we got to see Marceline and Marshall Lee interact, please. I reckon this one you guys will agree, maybe not on the main point, but the fact that Farm World Finn will be relevant, and I think he will be revealed to be alive in Season 2. A lot of mystery was left around Farm World Finn's fate. He received what looked to be a fatal shot from Scarab, and a lot of people think that he just died, because that was it, we didn't see anything else. But let's be real, we all know our boy Finn can take a lot of pain and fatal shots. I would be surprised if Farm World Finn was really dead. Like, what about his kids? Speaking of his kids, his son Jay came into Fiona's world with Little Destiny. Obviously that raises a lot of questions just in itself. Like, what? What about his family? What about his world? But I want to focus on that he seems really happy when he comes there, not like a kid whose father just died. So I think that is enough to confirm that Finn is alive, and will likely go looking for Jay if he doesn't know where he is already, and we'll see him somewhere confirming he's alive and well. An obvious resemblance to the world of Ooh and Fiona World is Finn and Huntress Wizard compared to Fiona and Huntress Wizard's counterpart Hunter. So I think Fiona and Hunter are definitely going to arc out, especially Hunter. In Season 2, Hunter was clearly given a little bit more attention, even though he didn't have much screen time. It was clearly shown to hold importance, and I think it's pretty obvious that it's going to be a Fiona x Hunter thing. He's definitely getting more screen time in Season 2. I'd be very surprised if that was wrong, and I can't see any other option than having a romantic interest in Fiona.
Because Jake said couples nights have weird kissing requirements and romance initiation rituals and whatever else.
I didn't really say all that.